Hello, beautiful souls. How have you been? It's been forever. I apologize. Source is my party planner. He brought me to an area that had no Wi-Fi for a while. And yeah, I had to leave. I had to get back online. Now, of course, all of my videos, they come from an inner knowing. They come from a place where all of a sudden I get this push, like the collective needs to hear this kind of a deal. And then I start to pull in the information and gather the pieces. And it's usually now or happening very soon in the future. And so sometimes the now stuff, I can't talk about it in the now moment because I don't get permission. I can't spoil things, right? And so today's discussion is about kind of what we thought the solar event was going to be versus what it's turning out to be. And all of this really comes directly from source, because as everyone, when when the whole solar flash conversation started, it was real hard to wrap my brain around. And it was real hard for me to understand all the intricacies. And at a certain point, I just had to say, you know what? It's not for me to do. I'm not carrying out the solar flash. I don't have to know the mechanisms of it. I don't have to understand everything to the nth degree. I just have to have the faith and, more importantly, focus on myself so that when the time comes, I'm in the right lane, right? You want to just be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And that is a hard concept for some people to understand. They're like, no, but I have to know. What do you mean you just have faith? How do you have faith if you don't know? That's exactly the point of having faith, is that your faith is in the outcome with your intention driving the outcome, and you don't have to know what's in the gray area in between. That's the whole purpose of successful manifesting, right? Is that we put our intentions, our hopes, our dreams out to the universe. So when I say universe, I mean to our ascended masters, our angels, our archangels, source creator. And we don't determine how it comes back to us. I've said that several times. That's one of the keys to manifesting. And I think it gets missed a lot because we, the earthlings, we were taught we had to figure everything out, right? You have to figure it all out. You got to know how to dot the I and cross the T. And everything has to be perfect or you will not benefit from that effort. And that's simply not true. We don't, number one, cannot understand the hows when it comes to divine mechanisms. And if we were told some of that, it would be beyond the ability to actually fully comprehend it. It would just derail us because you spiral down this rabbit hole of information you cannot comprehend. So, for several reasons, you got to let it go. All the control freaks out there, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. I'm going to give you today my version of events of what I thought was going to happen, what we were told was going to happen, even things that I asked intuitively and got yeses for. But the other events have transpired, and so the actual event looks different. So let's get into it. So we've heard for a long time that the solar flash, aka solar event, aka love wave, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. It's going to be this sudden, like, snap of the fingers, right? And life is going to be different as we know it. And that is part of the thing. Like, I got a vision that it would be similar to Thanos in Avengers Endgame when he snaps his fingers and the NPCs go up in the dust. The whole premise of that was that he wanted to decrease the population by 50%. Well, we know that there's 50% NPCs on the planet. The actual world population of souled, SOULED beings is not the number that we think is walking around and that we see walking around. because not everybody has a soul. Check out my prior videos for that dish. So, bringing that forward, that's in essence going to happen, but it's not going to happen in the snap of a finger. Why? Because Source Creator and Mother Sophia are more merciful than that. Doesn't surprise us, right? But we thought that suddenly the light beings would be in their higher dimensions. Suddenly the light beings would be in their younger, completely healed, completely functional bodies with all their higher dimensional abilities intact. Suddenly we thought that all those with good intentions but were asleep would be woken up and have the aha of, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and then just follow along in that source alignment path. Suddenly we thought that those with bad intentions would just vaporize into death. But that's not exactly how it's happening. In August, we had a very pivotal month energetically. It started with a supermoon. It started with a full moon on the 1st. And then we had the Lion's Gate on the 8th, and 8:15 was the new moon, and 8:30 was a super moon, blue moon combination. So the entire month of August was wave after wave after wave of lunar energy on top of the solar energy that gets measured as well. Then you also have galactic energy coming in because lightworker gateway portals are correlating and coinciding with these other energies. So is it all coincidence? No, definitely by design. There's an alliance, the Galactic Alliance, that works together for our greatest good and have for millennia, at least. It's been coming on for thousands of years that this event would take place. How it would actually be carried out was always kind of up in the air, depending on free will choice of the hues, that's us on this planet. The hues, H-U-E, is what the Pleiadians call human. So as all these events were taking place, of course we felt them. Of course we were asking questions like, is this the solar event? Is this the solar event? It's got to be, right? No, not yet. It's coming. Not yet. Okay, be ready. Be ready. So then September rolls around. So early September, we still had the full moon, blue moon, super moon hangover, right, of those energies, because that was the last day of the month, well, the 30th of August. And so that wave of energy takes a few days to process through. Well, the month of September has a lot of also mega energies planned to come through and lots of events, right? So one of the main events that is cyclical and happens every year and has for the last 20 some odd years is the ripping off the Band-Aid of 9/11, right? And so that event was orchestrated by the negative polarity beings to be a cyclical event that in its inception created a tremendous amount of soul energy from those sacrificed that day, and the loosh from the world of that event of that day. And then subsequently, annually, that loosh gets produced again because you have the memorials that come up and you have all the people that are full of sadness and fear and rage and frustration and blame and guilt. And all of those things are low vibrational emotions, and they all create loosh, right? So we have conversations multiple times a day with Yeshua, Father Yogananda, which is Commander Yogananda, Sanat Kumara, which he commands New Jerusalem, and Source Creator. We're at a point in our ground crew that we have accomplished a lot, and we're being rewarded. Justly so. I'll never apologize for that. We've all worked really, really hard. One of the things that we've accomplished And this started a while back, but the culmination happened recently, is we move souls over to the light. And I don't just mean human souls. It's long been proven that the darkness has harnessed the power of the light beings from their soul energy, their energy signatures. A lot of those beings were trapped in monuments and temples and structures, under structures, and under the ocean, all over the place. It is baffling sometimes whenever we realize all the places that the darkness has hid their power sources, which is in the form of other good lightworker and souls. So we've been moving them over. We've been releasing them. We've been realigning those positions and places. So after months of that, the dark overlords saw the writing on the wall, and they accepted the offer to cross over to the light as well. In that act, it left a lot of beings that are negative polarity untethered. Their leaders were no longer in this dimension. Who were they working for? There was no one to enforce their agreement to send out negative energy, to cause harm, to cause chaos, or whatever their agreements were. I don't know. So what do? They do what they know to do. They cause chaos and wreak havoc. And so that was expected to amp up, but the numbers have diminished greatly. And so I'm here to tell you today that hopefully you are a clear negative energy being where you can communicate to your higher self, and you can confirm everything that I'm saying because it is all straight from source and absolutely 100% true because we've lived it. So a lot of those beings that are crossing over have been trapped in negative polarity existence for thousands of years. Some of our crew members see with their clairvoyance. You know, we don't all have the same abilities, but the ones with clairvoyance can see and hear. And there are souls crossing over in period clothing, you know, like from the 1800s, 1700s, some little children carrying teddy bears, and they're holding hands and they're running to the light. And it is the most humbling and beautiful and powerful thing that a lot of us have done. I'm sorry, it makes me emotional. That they've been trapped, God knows how long. And we're gatekeepers, we're way showers, we're light workers. And all we have to do is open that gate for them and exercise our power to help them. And they go to the light and they are healed and they are given whatever rehabilitation they need on the other side through source light. And it is such a beautiful event. That has been cataclysmic though, because we're taking the power source away from the darkness, right? Their minions are leaving by the thousands, millions, in fact. So we were warned by source, you know, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it's all because they know they lost and they're just flailing and they're doing what they know to do. So a lot of people who watch me are in tune to their spiritual self, their higher self, and have had their energy clearing. So I want to make sure you know, if you're getting weird pains, if you're getting things that that may resemble an old like chronic pain, but it's coming up and you thought it was like over and done with, you need to make sure that that's not a high level negative energy being getting your attention because they want to cross over to the light, or a trapped soul getting your attention because they want to cross over to the light because they've heard and they've seen our light and they're like, oh, there's a gatekeeper, let's get their attention. So sometimes pains are pains. Most of the time, discomfort in our physical form are letting us know that there's negative energy present. And is that negative? So the negative energy, was it sent to us? Is it a sign? Or is it something that we've done? And so that's just some of the other lessons and learnings that we've developed over the last year while we have navigated this amazing life journey. So, and if that happens to you, definitely offer to cross them over to the light, give them love, give them grace and mercy. There's not a being in existence that cannot be offered love, compassion, kindness, and empathy. That is living the embodiment of Source Creator, right? That is being in his image. Because there's not a being on the planet anywhere, not just this planet, that Source Creator will not forgive and have compassion and love for. And so that brings me to the next point. When we are in these low vibrational states, right? So 9/11 came around and you had all the remembrances and all the whatever. And I honor every life taken that day, but it's not how it was presented to be. It was orchestrated by a lot of people pretending to be good guys, and they're not. And so I don't remember that day as a foreign attack on American soil. I remember that day truthfully as a domestic terrorist attack. But the result of that event has caused so much in the way of fear, shame, blame, guilt, pain, frustration, anger, vengeance, all these things that are extremely low vibrational, right? They will not do anyone any good. All they do is provide loosh to the darkness. And that's exactly why those events take place. So sending them love is the absolute best thing. Sending them love is the absolute best thing. So when 9/11 was coming around, Yeshua says, my born day is tomorrow. I want you to celebrate with love bombs and love dragons and happy dance music, right? And he doesn't want any low vibrational vibes on his born day, because that's exactly why they did it. They want to distort the great event that was the day that he arrived in this dimension with sadness for the loosh. They don't want to celebrate when we're celebrating Yeshua, when we're celebrating his message, and we're divinely embodying the message by being way showers and light workers and showing love and compassion and kindness. We completely take the wind out of the sails of the darkness. And this is why. This is what Yahshua's message is. And this is what I have done a couple of shows where I really go over, because we channel him. Okay. Yeshua is well aware of the huge negative events, attacks carried out on his arrival day. The cyclical sadness, regret, blame, anger only serves the beings of the dark side that have power, feeding off the power that comes from the loosh. That is their energy. That is their food source. This year, Yeshua requested that we celebrate him all week long. He said, tomorrow's my born day. Be full of love. Be full of so much joy that all overpower the dull depths of the lies. When faced with chaos, answer with love and grace first. Love is never egoic or judgmental, and love is never wrong. So we did that. I think we did a really good job. We would do starting at 9:11 a.m. every day for the week. We blasted love. We sent love bombs. We sent out our love dragons. We shared music that we all wanted to dance to. We learned new songs. And we celebrated Yeshua. We celebrated our brother. And he's super thankful for that. Now, Source Creator had a message about 9/11. Be in the moment. Be in love vibration. Be in the now moment and choose joy. When possible, keep sending love dragons. The massive energies that are coming in the form of chaos and sadness, despair and what ifs and the questioning and the fear and all that stuff only serves to produce more loosh, which is food the dark side needs. So Source again says, many are still programmed, and even those who are waking up are still in the never forget mindset. Number one, that's a negative phrase. When you see never forget, it brings you back. It rips the Band-Aid off again, right? You have the fear, you have the response to the act. Number two, it keeps ripping the Band-Aid off and exposes the raw pain, torment, fear, rage, which keeps the big lies and the big emotions alive and producing loosh, which feeds the beast. Source creator again. Keep sending love. Put yourself first. Do what you want to do. That means stop sacrificing your happiness for everyone else's, because you're not doing yourself any favors. You don't get any points with the big guy. And I say that meaning source creator, by constantly ignoring your own self-care and self-love. That is in a detriment to your soul. Play, laugh, rest, emphasizes rest. Sit outside, face the sun, smell the roses, and dream big and love bigger. Source on the solar flash event. Solar events will come in 3 to 5 day phases. During this phase, it's best rest, meditate, be in nature, and hydrate. The solar flash will ebb and flow depending on the needs of the collective. So this is where it really varies, right? I don't recall ever hearing this version, and I don't know that it was ever spoken of before, that we would have an ebb and flow to the solar event based on what the collective needs. But it makes sense, right? It's because there are many ground crews, not just mine, who are working really, really hard to elevate the frequency and keep it high. And so you have these pockets of humanity that are truly elevated. Their frequency is really, really high. They don't need to get blasted with all these mega solar waves when they've already done the work and they're there. They just need a little push to finish it off. So it's very plausible when you think about it that the solar event would be more customized based on the moments that the energy would be coming in, because everything changes so rapidly. So much changes in 24 hours. I can't even begin to describe to you. So 24 earthly hours. There's so much that takes place in the galactic area, right? So go against the human nature of pushing through, right? If you feel tired, source is saying, honor that request and rest. Call in sick to work. Take a mental health day. And go out in nature. Be in the sun. Be in the water. Rest. Play. Laugh. Do things that bring joy to your soul and your being. That will keep you away from the very orchestrated, very manipulative chaos that's being structured to play out around our planet right now. He says, get out of the guilt factor and the logic. Hush the ego and decide from a heart space and intuition what is in your highest and best good, and then follow through and do it, right? Check with your higher self before doing anything so that you know this is for me or this is not for me. And then you're left with free will choice, right? Some people are really good about asking their higher self what they should do, but they're not real good about following through with that recommendation. They're like, yeah, but so really it's depending on me. I'll let so-and-so down, or I promise, or whatever. And so then they reason away why they're not going to do what's in their own highest and best good, even though they ask the question and they have the answer. So there is an individual responsibility like with all things, a free will choice, right? On how we choose to respond to the recommendations that come from our higher self, the recommendations that come from source, our guides, our ascendant masters, our angels. Our own body tells us this is not where you should be. I mean, I hear from people all the time that are going about their life doing what other people need them to do for them. And it has such a detrimental effect on them. And they feel so horrible after. And it takes forever for them to recover. And sometimes they have to have additional clearing or healing. And then they turn around and do it again. Free will choice. That's why nothing is yet set in stone, right? That's a great card that always comes up in the oracle read. Nothing is yet set in stone, because free will choice can completely derail what source creator may have had planned. Okay. He does not overrule a being's free will choice. It is honored. That is a universal law. It is honored, whether it's in their highest and best good or not. So we are asking you in this now moment to choose, if you have not chosen before, or if you've kind of only halfway been there, done that, choose to be an active player in co-creating your highest and best timeline. You have a responsibility to your soul contract and to your soul, your energy body. So this avatar that we walk around in, for me, it's Nicole, right, from Louisiana. That was a nurse for a really long time. That person is from this life and this life only. And in this person, this brain and this ego that I carry around is only about this life only. My energy body, which is my soul, my spirit, has come through millions of years and thousands of lives. And that is the energy, the contract, the life that I honor. That is the life that I honor, because it is a accumulation of all of my lives, not just this moment in time. That is a very elevated, pulled back, broad way of looking at a person's life. That's how I choose to live it. Because when I'm in this body, in this mind, and this ego, thinking about things, it's just not a place I like to be. This wasn't a good life. This was a contracted life that I determined for me for a reason, so that I could be here in this now moment and speak to you from experiencing everything. But that's not what I don't want to live there. Like, I don't want to live in the lesson. I want to live in the outcome. I want to be on the front edge of that highest and best timeline. I'm not going to ever be the one that's over here talking about the past, living in the past and wondering about the what ifs and why did that happen to me. I'm like, nope, I'm just letting it go. It doesn't matter anymore. It's history. So when people have these attachments to things from the past, people from the past, whether they're alive or dead, places from the past, they are just stuck in that timeline. They're actively choosing to not co-create their highest and best timeline, because they're actively choosing to stay in the past, which is history, which cannot be changed. It is an actual huge waste of time. But that's for them to decide. That's for them to do their shadow work. That's for them to do their whatever they need to do to get where they need to go. To figure out that there should be forward momentum, not backwards momentum. So choose to align your life with light beings and source creator. When you do that, the people, places, and things that are supposed to be on your path gravitate toward you, and the ones that are not fall away. And that is the natural flow of the higher frequencies and the energies. So whenever you go against that, using your free will choice, you derail your own ascension. People do it all the time. The intentions of our heart and soul drives our trajectory in all things. that really has been proven to be true. It doesn't matter what this says. It doesn't matter what this thinks. It really matters what's in your heart, what is your intention, and your soul, and how you're going to be able to manifest the reality, and what are you going to do with it? That's what really matters. Your soul intention and your heart space. So whenever we are looking at what's going to happen for us, or even for others, this is why we continue, sometimes people continue to just be like haphazardly in their decision making, because they have bought into the lies that you can just do whatever you want. And if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, he's going to come in one day and he's just going to save you from your bullshit life. That's not how it works. You've been lied to. So it's my belief, and I have confirmed with Source Creator, that the solar flash event will quicken the beings of light, or the beings that are not of the light, to the dimension of their heart frequency and soul frequency, in alignment with their intentions and their free will choices. So, service to self-being, that's different from self-care and self-love, right? Service to self means no matter what is happening, the entire neighborhood can be on fire, and you're going to be focused on watering your flowers and deciding what you're going to have for dinner. Like, you're just completely in your own space, and you care nothing about anything else that's happening outside of you, nor would you help anyone before you helped yourself. And this is not a one-off situation. This is this is who you are. This is who you've been your entire existence. So they are going to make ego decisions. They're going to make mindful decisions. They're going to make logical decisions, which means that they excise out their heart and their spirit and their higher self, Christ consciousness, like all those things. So they will only be propelled as far as that intuition and frequency allows them to go. This correlates with the truth of Yeshua's message. The truth of Yeshua's message. This came straight from Yeshua. Instead of reaching upward in themselves, those who claim to follow me look to me for their salvation. That was never my message, and it was never the intention of my communication. The messages and many translations of my words, Yeshua saying this, are mostly inaccurate. But in essence, what I attempted to convey to those following me, air quotes, was that they would be saved by the elevation of their own life, their own intelligence, and their own freedom. I find it despicable, unfortunate, but also understandable that my truth became so distorted. Understandable because he said many, many times that that was the act. Those are the acts that caused him to start flipping the tables, because people that wanted to exercise their control over him and the masses were doing souls wrong, and he would have none of it. By saved, he meant saved from living a lower vibrational life, saved from diminished intelligence, and saved from the imprisonment of the soul. Those who wait for me to return to save them from their own misuse of life, their own stupidity, their own imprisonment of themselves and others through dogma, will sorely be disappointed. My message is and always was to love one another. That came straight from Yeshua. And I did a video where we did like a Q&A with him, and he was able to really speak about like what was the current message he wanted to to deliver to the collective in this now moment. And that's the thing, is that so many people get so bogged down in the dogma of the religion that has mind fucked them forever. They have to release that in order to find the truth. And then once they find the truth, they have to really, really, really believe in that truth, like they used to believe in the dogma and the lie. It's a change in perspective, but more importantly than that, when you make that turn, when you make that free will choice to accept the truth and discount the lies, you enact your own freedom. Blind faith is the opposite of freedom. Again, that's a Joshua quote. Blind faith is the opposite of freedom. No one's asking you to have blind faith. No one. I don't have blind faith. I have faith because my faith is always in communication with me. I'm always in communication with my faith. My faith is not in a religion. My faith is in my source creator, my mother Sophia, Yeshua, my ascended masters, my father, my mom. They soul level people that have been with me for millions of years. That is the energy that I connect to. That is the freedom that I aspire to have. And that is why I can leave all this other stuff on this planet to the people that really give a shit about it. Now, do I care about the planet? Absolutely. Do I care about the stuff that people are worried about on the planet? Not so much. Not so much. That's definitely been a huge change for me in my own ascension. As my frequency rises, I care less and less about things because it won't go with me, nor will it matter. Does it make or break my life, right? Does it make or break my threshold of fulfilling, happy, joy? It doesn't. It might give you a moment of happiness. It might give you a little bit of joy here and there if you look at something pretty that you bought. But what does that actually do for your soul? What does it actually do for the elevation of humanity on a whole? Nothing. Nothing. It causes nothing but low vibrational emotions and feelings. So yes, solar flash event, real. Yes, it's coming in phases. It's very customizable based on what's happening in the collective. If you did not feel a lot, that's probably a good thing. If you felt it like a Mack truck, I feel like that's also a good thing because you're in alignment and you just needed a big push. Now, I don't anticipate there being a huge amount of people turning to dust, but I do urge you to, number one, if all of this sounds like it makes a whole lot of sense, but you're not sure where to go with it, come visit us in Healing Disclosures on Telegram. We discuss all these things and can help you get clear of the negative distortions in your energy body so that you too can access the truth, your truth. Okay. But if this sounds completely like wackadoodle stuff to you, I just want you to think about things. Every time that the planet has ascended, which has been several, there has been a cataclysmic event to wipe off the life force of the surface of the planet prior to the ascension, because the rise in frequency is very uncomfortable. And prior to now, the beings that were on the planet were not of a percentage of light workers and of light bodies of goodness, let's just say, to warrant the extra effort and time for the people on the planet to ascend together. This is the first time in history. First time in history. That's why this little planet that we inhabit is the focal point of the entire universe, because all the positive polarity planets are rooting for us, because this has never been done. And the negative polarity planets and places and beings are really pissed off because this was their feeding ground. This was their honeypot, so to speak. And we have essentially decapitated that. We have taken that away from them. They're going to have to move on somewhere else to a different dimension and a different planet. So as the energies ebb and flow, I ask you to, number one, honor your soul contract. Honor that being that has shown up life after life after life after life and actually executed the soul contract with honor and integrity. I also ask you to tune into your intuition. Your intuition cannot be fucked with. Okay, our mind is the most manipulated thing in our body. Your intuition is always present and it can't be manipulated. When your body gives you clues that you're in a place or a space or around people that you shouldn't be, you know it. Are you honoring that? Or are you ignoring that? I don't know. Let's read or decide. But you do have the choice. And so whenever you say, I wish these people would stop with all the craziness around me, you have the choice to stop the craziness around you. Stop feeding into it. Turn the news off. Turn off the chaos makers. Turn off the crazy makers. Go into nature by yourself. Don't take crazy with you and listen to a podcast or something when you're out there. Or maybe podcasts would be okay. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to the crazy makers when you're trying to go out in nature and connect with Kuna Matea. When you're trying to connect with the great central sun and the power of the planet that we stand on and source creator. You don't want to mitigate that with fake news. Okay? Understand that we are here by and large for a greater purpose than anything that we've done in our 3D life. And now is the time to honor that. And now is the time to get in tune with yourself and know what you are here for and how you can go about making the absolute best choices in alignment to source creator for you, for your being, for your soul. We welcome you in Healing Disclosures on Telegram. I welcome anyone who wants to get their energy field clear with a QET session. That stands for Quantum Energy Transformation. We are transforming the negative energy in people's bodies to positive energy and using it for the greater good. And there is not a downside to that at all. I think that was it for the message today. The solar energies are going to continue. There may be small breaks in between. The phases will be what they need to be. I say be in love, be in gratitude, and realize that you co-create your highest and best timeline. Be an active member of creating that, and don't just be an observer of your life going up in flames. You have choices to make. It may hurt some people's feelings that have been sucking the actual life force out of you, but that's okay. That's what you have to do to honor yourself, to set those healthy boundaries and push those energy vampires away from you, right? Because they've been taking what you've been working so hard to produce. They're just parasites. At the end of the day, those beings are not going to be in your future. They're in your now moment. A lot of people are still holding on to karmic relationships because they're comfortable and they know what to expect. And I guess they fear, they have some trepidation about not being in that relationship any longer. That karmic relationship does not go with you into the future. And you could also derail your soul contract by putting the karmic relationship above and beyond your own soul evolution. And so, yeah, these energies are going to push you to ask the questions that you have been avoiding and make the proper answers. And your free will choice decisions are going to be honored. No one's going to come in and go, yeah, that's not your highest and best good. Let's do this other thing. See, because you have to anchor that energy. And if someone just comes along and whisks you up like the government and says, we'll take care of everything, don't worry about anything, is that trustworthy? No, it's not. That's not what we offer. That's not what Source Creator wants for us. Yeshua, Source, Mother Sophia, the Sophia Code, every single thing put out right now, all of it, all the lessons are, your truth is within you. Your power needs to be taken back because we've been taught to give it away. And we can co-create our highest and best life that more than we could ever have imagined here, because they never wanted us to. So I hope you have enjoyed this message today. It's been really great connecting with you again, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.